Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you a little bit about Adobe InDesign to help you get started making your interactive decision tree. So I'm just going to show you a few things in InDesign, and then in another video we'll take a look at the template files I'm providing for you, and I'll show you how to use them and how to take your flowchart and build your application from the flowchart. Okay, so let's just get started with some InDesign basics. I have InDesign open right now, so I am just going to go ahead and start a new document. And I'm not too worried about any of the settings here. Facing pages is usually if I want to do a book layout, but like I said, this is just one little page that I am going to show you, so it doesn't really matter what I choose here right now. InDesign is a page layout program. So the people that use InDesign would be people that lay out magazines and books. But because the PDF format has gotten so common for documents online, InDesign is also used for that, for making digital books as well, like EPUB books. And so it's a very useful tool, but it's known as a page layout program. Now, the way that we're using InDesign for this project is that we are going to make a PDF file. So it's going to be a multiple page PDF file, but it's going to be interactive. And that interactivity is going to simulate the functionality of an app. All right, but now we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. When we make our app, we are going to want to put in some images and graphics and text. So let me show you how to do that. With an InDesign project, you store everything that is part of the project in one folder. So let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to save it in this folder I've already created on my desktop here. It's called InDesign Project Sample. And I'm going to save this as test project. And the extension is .indd. If I don't add that, it'll just add it itself. Okay, now I would like to put a picture in the background. Let's say I'm designing my app and I want to put a little picture in there. The tool that I will need to do that is this one right here. This is a rectangular frame tool. Now I can click and drag it and then bring a picture into the frame. So we'll do that. Say I want my picture to be this shape. Then I need to get the picture to put it in the frame. And that's the thing about InDesign, is that most of your elements have a container. So you have the element itself in the container that it sits in. So I will say File. And I want to put an element into this container. File. Place. And I'm going to look in the folder that I've been working on. Here's my picture. And you see how the picture goes in the container. Well, it is obscuring part of my picture. The picture itself is bigger than the container. So I may want to do a few different things. If I use this tool right here, the direct selection tool, now my cursor turns into a hand and I can see how that picture sits outside of the frame. I can grab these handles and make it smaller, and I'm going to hold down Shift when I do it so that I can make it smaller proportionally. And now my picture is kind of not really in the frame, so I can grab it and move it up. One trick that I use a whole lot is this tool that, this menu item that says Object Fitting Fit Content proportionally. So what that does is it takes my image and it makes it fit without distorting it in that frame. And then if I want the frame to be smaller, I can adjust it so that it's right at the edges of the picture, or I could say Object Fitting Fit Frame to Content. And now my frame goes around my content. Now when I pick it up and move it, if I want to move it to a different part, I want to make sure that I actually grab the content in the frame. And I know I've grabbed the content in the frame when the outline turns blue. If I get in there, this is like I have the direct selection tool, and it's brown, I'm moving the content in the frame, okay? So we're going to be bringing a lot of images probably into our interactive application, so it's important that you understand how to do that. With text, it works in a similar fashion. So I have my text here. I will click and drag to create a frame for my text. This is some text. If I want to make it center aligned, I can do that. I just go to my paragraph menu here, and if that wasn't open, I would grab that by going to Window and type in Table Paragraph, okay? And I can center my text. I can change my character style to a different typeface if I wanted to. I'll select it, but I'm going to select it first, and then I can change the typeface and the size if I want to, and even the color. So the color of my type is controlled right here. If I click on that, I can grab any color in the rainbow and change my type color. So those are some basic things you will need to do to make your interactive application. You're going to want to bring in a lot of text and a lot of images probably. You can actually bring in audio and video as well. It's a little bit tricky. It's not super user-friendly, so let me show you how to bring an audio file in. This took me a little while to figure out. If I wanted audio to play on a particular screen, when a user arrived at a particular screen, what I would do is I would say File, let me think for a second, File, Place, and I'll just place my audio file, open, and then place it. The problem is that by default, InDesign wants to create this really ugly controller to play the sound. And maybe I just want the sound to automatically play when you arrive on a particular screen. That is actually very ugly right there. And let's see what it's going to look like when I convert this document to a PDF. So we'll come back to this. We'll come back to the audio in just a second. But I'm going to say File, Export. So when you're done with your interactive application, you're going to want to export it as a PDF file. And the format is going to be Adobe PDF Interactive. And I will hit Save. And I'm just going to accept the defaults for now. Okay. Doesn't like my font. All right, we'll not worry about that for now. And it's going to generate the PDF. So now I can see my PDF file. And what do you know? The audio controller did not show up at all. Let's see. If I go to Window, Interactive, Media, all right, we want it to play on the page load, and we can actually preview it to see what it's going to look like. Okay, my audio is playing. It's a pretty horrible audio file, but now it's there. I just didn't have the option to play on load. So now let's export. And by the way, I got to this dialog box by going to Window, Interactive, and then Media. Okay, so let's export our file right here. And test project, we'll save it as test project.pdf. That's fine. Let's replace it. And we will say OK, OK. And so it's playing on load, but it's super ugly. Now, I did a lot of research on this, and the way that we can hide this is by taking the audio, the inside, the content in the frame. So it too is content in a frame, and I get on the inside of it, and I make it really small. So we'll say 0.02 points. Points are kind of a unit of measure for print layout. I'm just going to make it really tiny, and then I'm going to Object, Fitting, Fit frame to content, and now it's super duper small. And let's test it again. File, export, save, replace, okay, okay. Let's test it again. Oh, and my audio is not playing. Why is it not playing? Do we still have it set to play on page load? We should. Let's preview it. And it doesn't want to play. Let's try it one more time. We'll go back. So we'll take the content. Let's not go quite that small, maybe something like that. Make sure we get the audio inside the frame. We'll make it just 1 point, and the height 1 point. And then we'll make our frame small. Object, fitting, fit content, fit frame to content. And let's preview it. And our audio still works. So we can zoom in, and I can actually make that smaller. And I can put it in a discrete place so that the audio is hidden. All right, more thing I want to show you in this video is how to create a link. So in your interactive application, you're going to be linking between pages. So you're going to want to have your pages dialog box up. Now we only have one page here, so we don't have multiple pages. But if we wanted to create a link between pages, we would need to add a second page. So I'm going to create a second page, just so that you know this is the second page. I'll add some notes. Second page. This is hideous, we know. Okay. Then let's go back to the first page. And I'm going to create some more text. I'll make this frame smaller. Create some more text. And I will say link to page 2. Okay. We will select the text, and I will go to Windows, Interactive, Hyperlinks. And I will create a new hyperlink with my text selected and say I want to go to a page. And that page is going to be page 2. Now that page has to exist in order for this to work. We will say OK. And now let's test it. And I think, well, let's just go ahead and test it as a PDF file. So we'll export it. It has to be that interactive format. OK. OK. And the sound is working.
This is a test.
Link to page 2. Are we on page 2? Yes, we are on page 2. Lovely.
This is a test.
Okay. So these are the main principles of Adobe InDesign. There's a lot to Adobe InDesign, and if you want to learn more, you have access to lynda.com. There's some great tutorials. I will post it on the class website to teach you more about InDesign. But these are the basic things that you need to know how to do. How to bring in a picture, how to resize the picture, bringing in text, creating links, and if you want to bring in audio and video files. And video works in a similar way. If you want to bring in a YouTube video, that's a little bit more complicated. I can do a demo on that if you would like. Just let me know through Canvas. Okay, good luck. Let me know if you have questions.